Hello there, wonderful people, and welcome back to my shipwreck of a channel. Tonight we have a sad story to tell. We have the review for Alan Wake 2 and them. Full disclaimer, I think this game is good. I recommend you playing it. But there are a few issues. Those issues are the reason why this review is a little late, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit later in this video, because right now I'm gonna focus on all the good things and everything that I enjoyed about it. Like, it's been full 2 weeks, 2 weeks and something and some change since the release, so I'm gonna go full spoiler. If you don't want the spoiler part, okay, I'm gonna review the brief notes. It's a good story. It's really interesting what it's doing. The visuals are amazing. The gameplay is meh, good enough, I think. And yeah, that's about it with this non-spoiler thing. It's good. You could play it if you want, and that's it. If you want, my honest opinion, wait a little bit for it. If you don't like certain parts of what I'm gonna tell you about. So the last 3-4 hours is a drag down, but I'm gonna talk about that later. Right now I'm focusing on only good stuff. So if you want to play it, go play it. If you will, you won't be disappointed, but you could wait. It's okay if you want to play now, or you can wait to get it on I don't know, discount. That's it with non-spoiler. Now let's go full spoiler on Alan Wake 2. I don't know where to start. Let's start with the gameplay. The gameplay is really interesting, and I like most of it. Like, I don't have a problem with the mind plays of Saga Anderson. It's really interesting how you fix clues and you really put your brain to work. But I have a thing. Every time you solve a case, you should not be able just to put it randomly, and that's it. Like, you press every fucking button. This is what I was doing in the last few hours because I was sick of it. The Saga part is interesting at the beginning, but till the end you will get sick of it. Like, I enjoyed it first time when I said first 10, 12, 20 hours I enjoyed it. After that I was like, oh, again this bullshit. And it's really essential because you have to solve some mysteries and put your brain to work. And if you want to really focus on it and role play as a detective, it's good. But for me, it didn't do it. Like, at some point it was just a chore that I had to do it, and I was pissed off about it. I didn't like that just at the beginning, so that's why I was telling you, if you are excited you can play it, but some parts might not be for you. Like, they weren't for me. I enjoyed that at the beginning. I had a blast. It was really interesting. I was like, damn, this gameplay is quite interesting. And I didn't have anything to complain. That's why I was so excited about this review. But till I got to the end, I was like, oh my god, this again, this bullshit. But on the other side, on the flip side, Alan part, where you're writing everything, that keep it fresh. Like, it didn't lose his flinch like Saga parts did with her mind place. On Alan's side, you had the writer room instead of the mind place, and you're going there and you're writing the scenery after what you had to discover some ideas, and then you were like, okay, I have a new idea, so I'm gonna rewrite the whole reality around this idea. And that keep it good because it wasn't overdue. Like, you didn't do it constantly to progress. You're doing it at certain point and just a little. With Saga, you had to do it over and over and over and over again. And it's the same thing. And at some point, like I said, I was just taking the file, put it somewhere. No, it doesn't work. And the fact that Saga was like, it's not right. Think, Saga, think. Didn't really help. Like, at least shut the fuck up. I know I'm not doing it right because I was sick of reading everything because it didn't seem that compelling for me. It lost the charm that it had at the beginning. So that's on the gameplay. The rest of it is kind of basic. Like, everything is run-of-the-mill survival horror. So you get ammo, you have the stacking parts, you you have to arrange them and put them in the shoebox. The shoebox I'm gonna talk a little bit deeper in later when I'm talking about the story. So the shoebox is mostly a storage part of the gameplay. When you and I played on hardest difficulty and I never ran out of anything. I mean, in certain points I ran out of bullets and I was just going through the enemies because the enemy variety is not great. Like, okay, you have the speed bitch that runs fast and throws axes at you. You have the average guy who comes fast at you. You have the big guy who comes at you. And you have some weird thing that I really wish I would have seen more of that. Like, interesting idea. It was some kind of a monster who was half in the lake and you saw the reflection. So it looked like two people combined together. But it was just a reflection. That monster, that enemy was quite interesting. First time I saw it, I was like, damn, this is some good ass shit. I wish I would have so more of that weird thing. That's another complaint about the gameplay. The enemy variety is too safe, is too basic. They are zombies with weapons. That's it. Nothing interesting. Sometimes you have the Taken. This is how they call that are just characters that you encounter throughout the story, and those were like a little bit more interesting. They had some gimmicks. For example, the two cops, I forgot their name, doesn't matter. They keep respawning till you do a certain thing. You have to destroy a dark thing and then they will stop respawning, so that was interesting. I enjoyed that part, the gimmicky parts. The rest of them, for example, a lady that was in the nursing home of Asgard, if I remember correctly, was another interesting because he played out into my fear. I was really stressed out in that moment. The gameplay was really tense because you couldn't stay too much in the water, otherwise she will come and get you. I enjoyed that part a lot. So those gimmicks were like really good, but they were few and far between. You didn't have those gimmicky parts that often. Most of the enemies are like just basic things that come at you and hit you with a bat or a pipe or something like that. So it's not that good, the enemy variety in the gameplay department. The rest of it is like meh, basic. What I came in for, and most of the Remedy games, because I'm a fan of Remedy, like I didn't play just Alan Wake 1. I didn't play it, I skipped it. And I remember everyone was crazy about it in 2010, so I was like, okay, maybe I will play it, but I never get around to, and I will play now because I'm interested in what's coming next, and maybe that will satisfy the itch of see how the past was. But Control, it's one of my all-time favorite games, like easily top 5. It's so great. And seeing all the, I'm gonna talk about story right now, seeing all the connection with the FBC, the Federal Bureau of Control, was great. Like the way they connected the universes were like really fucking good. So I love that part because I'm a huge fan of Control. Control was a great game and the gameplay was really good and much better than Alan Wake, to be fair. Like the gameplay in Alan Wake is just the safest thing. It just gives me flashback of Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, the remakes. It's just the same thing. It feels the same. It feels safe. It's in change in Control. You have all those crazy powers that are really good. So I enjoyed the shit out of Control. And to see the connections between Control and Alan Wake was like, oh, a dream come true. Finally, a good connected universe. They ignored fucking Marvel, but we'll see where the next fix is gonna get this story on. The story, pretty much, it continues right after of Alan Wake 1 after 13 years, where Nightingale comes out of the lake and Saga comes around with her partner Casey to investigate the crimes of the cult. But later on you find out something. I don't know if I should go full on spoilers, because I mean I will guess 2 spoilers, but some parts maybe I will let them out. just because they were interesting and maybe you could see them coming, maybe they weren't that great, but the fight with the Colt you will see and is good. I'll tell you that. I liked it. It was full of heart. I won't spoil that. And another thing, maybe I will not spoil them, but I will think about it later. If I want to tell something, I will tell them. But right now, I'm just keeping my mouth shut. Keep in mind the Colt was really good. Kind of basic, but good. So yeah, after they killed the Nightingale, that was the detective from the first game, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong because I didn't play the first game, but from what I heard, it was connected to the first game. So yeah, that's about with that. Saga comes in and everything is going crazy because the horror story is rewriting rewriting reality, and you have to play with Saga for a while. Then you switch to Alan and see what's going on in there after you find him on the short lake. So you go to the ritual and stuff, and you'll see Alan, and then everything switches to Alan's side of the story, and that's amazing. So even though, like I said earlier, it's dragging on, the game should have been shortened by 3-4 hours, because the last hours were like, come on, I want to wrap this up. I want a story. Stop putting me to run through A to B to A to B, run around for no reason. Stop dragging on. I know you want to do more gameplay, but nothing interesting comes up, so it's not necessary to keep going with the story. You should have made the last chapters, because there are 9 chapters, 9 for Alan and 9 for Saga. You should have stopped, like literally stop with that bullshit and make it shorter, like 7 for Alan, 7 for Saga, maybe, or maybe keep the number of chapters, but keep going with the story on a much faster pace than just going and dragging it on. That was really bad in my opinion, because that's why it took so long to do this review, because the last 4 hours I was literally a chore. I didn't want to continue. I was too lazy to do it because I was pissed off on running around for no literally reason. I was just going through the motion and not thinking. That took so much out of my enjoyment with the game, because that's why I literally, with Saga, I didn't focus on the case anymore. I was just, okay, I'll just speed run it through the thing and put it, this file here, this file here, this file here. I didn't care anymore. And then with Alan at the end, you didn't even do the rewrite anymore, so that was the thing. The part that keep it interesting and didn't bother me as much, because they didn't overdo it, they ended it a little bit quicker, but the part that dragged on too much, they keep going with it till the end, and that's the ending. You have to, Saga was stuck in the mind place because she was thrown around by the Scratch into the dark place, and she was kept there, and all her insecurities and stuff coming up. She was like strapped in there, and you had to do them, put everything, go around the room. Like, that part was so tedious, because you had to look at everything, and she was doubting herself on everything that she looked at. Like, for example, she saw some bandages of Casey who was hurt, and in her head was like, I should have been there, I should have saved him, I should have got his back, but she was doing something else. Like, okay, I understand, insecurities are a real problem to most of the people. Most of the people have anxiety and some kind of mental insecurity, and they are like putting too much. But calm the fuck down, you are like doing this all the time. Like, okay, she was trapped there. It's not the easiest thing to get out of there, because the dark place is playing tricks on you. I'm gonna talk about those tricks, but the ending was so tedious. They should have make it at least half an hour shorter, like just the ending, because I said 4 hours, 3-4 hours you should have been cut out of the game. Then the parts where everything is going nice and the concert on the lake, but overall you should have cut lots of things and make them a little shorter. Not cut the idea, because I didn't complain about the idea. I cut the parts that were like really tedious. Just make them shorter and you'll have much better paced game overall. So yeah, the part with Saga was stuck in there. Okay, I understand she was in the dark place, but the fact that she stood in that room and your keep that, I mean, the whole thing about Saga was that she was concerned about her daughter, because at the beginning of the game she has a son named Luke, but the story, the dark story, rewrite the reality and make her think. That's an inconsistent thing, because at the beginning she's like, I didn't have a daughter, I had a son, and I have a son, I never had a daughter, and till the end she's only my daughter, she's my daughter. What happened with the fact that you remember reality? So I understand maybe the dark place is stronger, the lake is doing it much harder for her. Maybe even though she's strong, she's not that strong to really remember everything, but be a little consistent. So yeah, with that bullshit, I maybe I didn't understand. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she had a daughter from the beginning. You can go and check me out, but I'm pretty sure she fought with that waitress who told her that her daughter drowned in the lake, in the bunker, the abandoned bunker, and she said, no, I didn't have a daughter, I have a son, and his name is Luke, or something like that. So I'm pretty confident that that's what happened, but until the end she has a daughter somehow. Maybe the effects were irreversible on that part. And the ending was a cliffhanger where she was calling her daughter, and did I name her Luke? Her name, his name, whatever, was Logan. My bad. That's the weird thing. I don't know about Americans' names, but I'm pretty sure Logan is a universal male name. Maybe, I don't know about that. So yeah, they should have cut 3 hours of the game. The honest thing. And with Alan, he's great. Every actor, the actor that plays Saga, the actor that plays Casey, that's the director of Remedy, if I remember correctly. The actor who plays Alan, and every side character are amazing. I love every single one of their actors. They did a great job, but the script was not in their favor, especially with the last hours. About the story, it's really unfulfilling, I may say. I mean, I wasn't in the hype train. I didn't expect anything from Alan Wake, but the fact that the post-credit scene is great. I loved it. Her wife, his wife, Alan Wake's wife, Alice, the person who tried to save the both games, tried unalive herself. She was like, fuck this shit, I'm out, after Scratch tormented her for a while. She was like, okay, I'm gonna end all this, I'm not gonna be a artist, I'm gonna be the art, or something like that, and she will throw herself after a cliff. But she made one more recording, because throughout the game with Alan you are finding her recordings where she was telling you, okay, I thought Alan was dead, but it wasn't. And somehow she got in contact with Federal Bureau of Control, and they were like telling her something. She found the truth, and that was a misguided thing, but I don't know why. I didn't find the person. It was interesting, the fact that she was alive at the end, and Alan was like, he got shot by Saga at the end with the light bullet, and pretty much at the end he comes out of life like, he's not a loop, it's a spiral, and you have either to descend, that's destruction, or ascend, that's, I don't know, because they didn't give me an explanation, but I guess to ascend anyway. So pretty much they set up a third game or DLC. I'm not sure. I'm kind of excited, but like I said, they should have keep more focus and not drag on something that it becomes tedious. Like the Saga Mind Place, it was tedious at the end. and no reason to drag it so much. Maybe they should have made it a little bit less intrusive and less mandatory for the story. This way I wouldn't have I wouldn't have done it every single time, so I would have not get bored, and I would have focused on the cases more, and I would be been more immersed in the story. But the way they did it was like too tedious and intrusive in my point of view. So don't take my word as absolute, but that's my idea. The Alan part. Everything about the Dark Place was amazing. I loved every single part. Maybe the back and forth were the main things that were just there to prolong the gameplay. That's another thing. They shouldn't have made the cross through that part of New York that long. Or, I mean, it isn't. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I will just go running in circles. But it's not awful. I loved it. Every single part was unique. You have to go to the talk show. That was the main center. That's where you most of the time wake up, and you have to go in there and go through the TV in the talk show, and you find more stuff about the story, more stuff about the thing that guide that place in the door, the Mr. Door. That's really a mystery that I want to get deep into it, but not now because I don't have that inside. But Mr. Door was great. I love that actor. I never followed him before, but now I'm gonna keep an eye on him. I will search his name and I will look more about what he's doing, because that actor, Mr. Door, the talk show host, was fucking great. I think I never had this feeling about an actor before. Like, his voice, his demeanor was amazing, especially because the parts with the talk show when he appears is the actor, like it's the live action, because in this game they combine live action and game, so it gets you a really great effect of everything. That's why the game looks so amazing in so many parts, and the actor was top tier. Like I said, all of the actors, but he was especially great. I don't know. There's another actor that I'm gonna talk shortly that I loved, like, but Mr. Door Mystery was like great. I loved it. I want to expand on that. Maybe a DLC, because there's a cop that was transported from at the beginning of the game. You go to morgue and see Nightingale body, and that cop wanted to give Saga a page, because throughout the games you find pages from the story that it shows you the future somehow, or what's gonna happen, because that story rewrites reality. So if something is written on that story, you will find it reality eventually. So those pages kind of tell you the future, because they were written at the same time with the story. So the timing in this game is like weird, because the Dark Place has no timeline. It's just a loop, but I mean a spiral. So things that happened after Wake came out are happening in the same time. So Wake was in the Dark Place and he was rewriting the story, while Saga was in there, and she inspired him to add her into the game, into the story. So because he saw her vision and talked with her, he was like, Saga is there trying to help me. I will add her in the story, but I need to make it dark, so it will. That's why he added the whole family fast. So yeah, that thing was really great. The fact that the past influenced the future and they're just in the loop. Overall, I liked that part. The story was like really good. Another character, and I'm really excited about this character. I loved him from the first sight. Ati. If you don't know who Ati is, you're a loser. For fuck's sake, Ati the janitor was a really important character in Control. And because, like I said, I'm a stand for Control and I love that game, one of my favorite games, Ati coming back in Alan Wake 2 was amazing. Like, mind-blowing. When I saw him first time, I heard him singing. I was like, Ati? Ati? It's that you? And I went in there with a big smile on my face, and everything scene he was there, I was amazed. The only thing that I'm sorry about was the fact that in my playthrough, I never saw the musical that Ati did. Like, he has a band, Ati and the Janitors. I never saw him singing in my playthrough. I don't know where did I miss that. I don't know where he should have appeared, but the fact that I didn't saw him, like, and I found that after I finished the game, I watched YouTube about Ati because I love that character. I wanted to know what people think about it. And I didn't saw him singing in my playthrough. That's a crime. It shouldn't have been a thing that you can miss. But never mind. So Ati, it's a pretty interesting character. It's the theory that he's a god that helps the Federal Bureau of Control. It's a friendly entity because in the Federal Bureau of Control. So let's get some backstory in. If you know about ECP, is a stand for that in the Remedy universe. They are inspired. There are certain objects that have some abilities around the world. So, for example, in Control, the whole thing that started the Control story was that the main character, Jessie, and her brother found a projector that can open the gates to other realities, and from those gates, some things came in. And the only thing good that came in was the entity Polaris that helps Jessie. Pretty much that's how she gets her powers, and that's it. So the Federal Bureau of Control keep those objects and people that had contact with those objects. That's why they got Jessie's brothers into the custody. They were little, and now she came in and to find her brother in the old house. This is how the HQ of Federal Bureau of Control is called, the whole old house. The first thing that you come in, you find Ati, and she tells you, "Are you coming in for the interview? It's right there." And with his voice and his generally nice demeanor, first time I was like, "The fuck? Everything is empty, but you're here. Who the fuck are you? What are you?" And later I see him popping on, like everything is going to shit in the old house. The hist is all over the place, everyone is controlling, you need some kind of devices to not be controlled. But that is just minding his business, singing, having his best time with his little headphones that he gives you later. That was a great scene where he gives you the headphones so you can go through a labyrinth. That it's a never ending, so every time you go into it you go in loops and you never find a way out. But it gives you those headsets that are an object of power, I think, my theory, because they are never confirmed that. It gives you that headset that gives you the power to fly and to traverse the labyrinth. So somehow a janitor has access to an object of power and can control it, because the most like the object of power are kind of unpredictable, so you don't know for sure what they're gonna do. That's with the lake, that's a center, and the clicker. That's an object of power that can change reality. So the lake is not an object of power, it's I forgot how it's called. Anyway, so it's a entity into itself that changes reality, and the clicker gives him more power because it's an object of power that changes reality based on art. I love that thing, and Ati somehow had a headset that gives you power of flight, but maybe that's because you had Polaris helping you. It doesn't matter. And at the end, towards the end of the Control game, you find Ati in a never-ending corridor, which he's going towards him, and he's in a beam of light. And from that point on, he gives you his wisdom, and then he leaves. You never see him again. And that was so great, because for fuck's sake, what happened to Ati? And after a few years, you find him in Alan Wake. That's a blast. That's a fucking blast. He's in a dark place, he's in a real world, he's everywhere, because he has some kind of power. He can traverse through universes like it's nothing. And he gives you the shoebox. That's some kind of unending thing that you can put stuff in it, and he guides you. People have a problem that he speaks in riddles. Like, I saw some people thinking that it's kind of annoying that he doesn't give you any straight answer. He's talking in in tongues. He doesn't say anything to you. You ask him anything and he will be like, okay, so the fly is not that important to the world, besides, unlike bee who helps to pollinize the plants. Something like that is mind-boggling, because I love Ati and I love Ati lore. It's amazing. The fact that he speaks in tongues is because he's a god. He doesn't. I think he is not allowed to intervene. He can help, but not directly. That's why he's like this. That's why he doesn't give you a straight answer, because he's not allowed to, by some kind of contract, or maybe, I don't know, some other worthy power that sent him here or allow him to stay here. So that's why he doesn't give you a straight answer, because maybe he's not allowed to. But that's deep lore. For people who are not initiated to the Ati lore, of course it might sound weird that he doesn't speak anything. But the people who knows, maybe, it's just a theory. It's just a theory. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just a normal person. But if he's not, it makes sense. And I think that's what they're going to. Because maybe it's just an abstract character being there just to make you put more questions. Because the game is overall really abstract, even Control. The Remedy have such a great style of doing game and storytelling. I love it. I love every part of it. Yeah, so Ati, another lovely characters. But the MVPs, the people who put the biggest smile on my face, were the old gods of Asgard. The old gods of Asgard, Thor and Odin. Fucking great, man. Like, those characters were like top tier. They made me laugh with every fucking single time I saw them. First time you meet them, they were drunk and on moonshine. They were like the old liquor of gods, the moonshine of Anderson. I fucking love that, and they seem like they have something. They are somehow clear of the dark entity, because they knew stuff, and later on you find out that they have some powers like Saga has. So that's why they are not really affected by it. And the musical in the Dark Place, because the Dark Place is mocking you. He's mocking Alan for every time, and it's going around and changes just to keep Alan there and torment him for life, I guess. The fact that the Dark Place made the whole musical for Alan, it really is similar. This game has two, the Control has just one. When you put the headphones, like I said, it's blasting a song, a fucking Wet Your Panties song. It's named Take Control, of course, and it's fucking awesome. I didn't make the connection initially. It sounds similar, but I had to check that out, because I know the band in the Alan Wake is called the Old Gods of Asgard, but I didn't know if they made the same song in Control. So the Old Gods of Asgard is a pretty much fictional band that makes great music in that universe. So I loved it, every part of it. So in this game you had two musicals. First in the Dark Place, and second when you try to help Alan get out. And another thing about the loop. So the musical, it slaps so hard. It's called the Herald of Darkness, and it's great. It pretty much summarizes the story of Alan Wake 1 into it, and it talks about the clicker, the bullet of light, and how everything turned out in the first game, and then a little bit of the second game. So I love that song. It's right now one of my favorite songs. I have it in a playlist and I listen to it constantly. And then I remember about the Take Control one that I listened back then when I played the Control game, but I didn't listen since then because I forgot about it. But now the memories were like all back. And the fact that Remedy, when it does a musical about stuff, it gives you some overpowered shit and let you go blasting with that song in, it's amazing. Because in here you have the flare gun that is a one-shot kill and has a bigger array of damage. So every time you in that musical you could go ape shit with it and you have ammo. You won't miss ammo and you could just shred to the enemies. Same in Control when you had the power and you have unlimited energy and you could go crazy because of the song. The songs have power. That's the main thing. Art has power in this Alan Wake game, so it's really great. And the second musical wasn't as good because it was there were so many enemies. I didn't even listen to that song that good, and I don't think they did too much. They said a few things and then they were just blasting the guitar solo. It wasn't that memorable. So it is at the end when you free Wake, you want to get Wake out of the dark place, but you get him out and he disappears because he's going back in the past. So the reason why he got back in the first place was because in the future, at the end of the game, you free him. But that's the gist of it. So that's what I'm telling you, that the timeline is really convoluted because it's a spiral. It's not a straight line, it's not a loop, it's a spiral. You're doing stuff that affect the past and you continue in the future with those things. But you need to do the things in the future so it will happen to the past so you can get to that point. That's great. I love that. It's amazing. So the story, the side characters were amazing. Like I said, the only big complaint about this game is the fact that it drags on and it's a chore to end it. Like, I was just itching for that satisfying ending and I kind of got it. I'm not complaining. People are complaining that it gets to the same point kind of, but with more information. But in my opinion, it's a good story overall. A little bit cut short and you'll have a masterpiece in my opinion. But yeah, the character is good, the story great, the gameplay average, but bearable, so it's not awful. That's all I can say about it. And the fact that they had Atty coming in. I still have that feeling when Atty called Alan. Everyone was calling Alan Tom because this was insider in the story. He had the character named Tom, but he was him. So because the story affected everything, that was the weird thing. Because everyone called him Alan, inclusive Atty. That was weird. Because Atty should have had more insight because he never seemed affected by the dark place. He never seemed affected by the story. That's all where everything comes in. The second story with the door. So that cop, I 100%, I can put a bet of $1,000 that they will make a DLC with the cop that was searching for the Mr. Door in the dark place. So that's gonna be the story for the DLC, 100%. It's too good to not happen. Like, Mr. Door was an enigma played by a great actor. I don't think they will waste it. They will continue with it either in a DLC, either in a third game. But I would much rather have it in a DLC. We'll see about that. I will keep an eye on it. But pretty much that summarizes everything. So the story, really good, especially if you have insight about the first game and the Remedy universe. Everything, it's lovely. The ending was like dragged on, but I liked it. I didn't complain about, I didn't feel unfulfilled or I wanted more. I just liked how it ended, but I would have rather ended it sooner. But every callback was great and every fan service, because this is how you can call it, fan service, but it's just connecting the universe even more. I wanted more accent on the Federal Bureau of Control, to be honest, because they didn't do that much. Just a few scenes with the equipment that it gives you that is not working, for fuck's sake. Like, something is happening and it's a recurring event when they are coming in and checking on that, but they can't make a fucking functional equipment. Like, but I understand they needed to do a boss fight. Yeah, the boss fights, like I said, they were gimmicky sometimes, but good. I wish I would have more of that. The gameplay was kind of basic, but good enough for me to be satisfied. I just wanted a little less of the last parts. Mainly, the gameplay should have, the chapters should have been got shorter by the end, and the mind plays should have been cut off. Like, not put so much focus on it, especially the part where all the insecurities of Saga come in. Like, that part should have been like half shorter, like cut. It's too long for no reason. And yeah, every character is really good and I loved it pretty much. Saga was a great addition at the beginning, but till the end, like I said, with the all focus on the mind plays come overstayed her welcome. In my point of view, I didn't mind it, and I would like to see what happens. Like, I don't know why they keep on a cliffhanger. They should have give her an ending pretty much with her daughter. They should have they let it so ambiguous just because they wanted the sequel bait pretty much. But I don't think it should have been an ending for her. I understand you want to sequel bait, but you did this already in 2010. At least give us some resolution. I don't know, we'll see about that. I'm pretty sure it will be an DLC, or maybe it will be an open-ended story that it will not have a continuation. That would be actually good, my opinion. Like, keep Saga story ambiguous. Like, go on that. Don't come back. Let our imaginations go on that thing and fill up the spaces like we do with Ati, the greatest character that ever lived. I fucking love that. Pretty much this is my whole opinion. Like I said in the beginning, if you want to play it and you're hyped for it for 10 years, go play it. But if you can wait, just wait for a discount. I'm not telling you to go buy it. If I if I would have done this review last week when I would have finished the game and I wouldn't have dragged on to 4 hours, I would have told you, go fucking buy it now. Do it. It's a great game. But now after with the hindsight that I couldn't finish 4 hours of gameplay just because I was too lazy and feel like a chore, I can't recommend you to go right now to play it. Just wait for a discount, because you will have the same thing, and maybe for some people, not like me, it will just stay there unfinished and you won't have the resolution. You'll just check it on YouTube. So yeah, that's why I'm not telling you to spend full price on it, because it might happen to you. You might feel burned out of that ideas and the fact that you're moving so slow. That's not bad, but till the end you'll get tired of it. That's normal. It's not Spider-Man where you're having a blast from start to finish and it's too short. It's Alan Wake that you're having a blast through the beginning, middle, and the end of game, but the middle to the end is kind of too spread out and not that great paced. So yeah, you won't have a blast on that part. Maybe you are not like me. Maybe you are, I don't know, somebody who likes to be immersed and you like slow things and slow burners. But I'm not like that. I want snappy, fun, continuous fun, like Spider-Man, or like I'm playing right now, Lies of P, and you will have the review for that. I know on that I'm a little late, but we'll see. So yeah, pretty much I recommend the game, but if you can wait, maybe it should be like that. Just wait, get it on discount. But that's what I wanted to say, and I will see you this week, maybe next week, who knows. Goodbye. Bye.